Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce myself. My name is Najwa Firdausyah. I'm from English Education Department from class 4B. Today I would like to present about characteristic of young learners and how they learn. Okay, first thing first, who is young learners? Young learners are elementary school students between 6 to 12 years old. So, many experts divide young learners into two groups, and I take one opinion of them that young learners are divided into two groups. The first is the younger group. The age is between 6 to 8 years old, and the second one is the older group from 9 to 12 years old. So we move to the characteristics of young learners. The first characteristics of young learners is active. Young learners are always on the move. They learn best when they can get up and do things rather than just sitting and listening. So, when teaching active children, let them move around, play games, and participate in hands on activities instead of expecting them to sit quietly for long periods. So, if young learners in the classroom moving around or learning by walking, it's okay because it's the characteristics of young learners. Instead of just sitting in the chair or listening while sitting, young learners are different. Young learners learn with get up and do things because they are active. So, the second characteristics is curious. Young learners are natural question askers. They want to know how things work and why things happen. Teachers can feed this curiosity by bringing interesting objects to class or maybe create a mystery box so young learners can guess what's inside. So we let them discover what is inside the mystery box instead of exactly telling them everything because we have to involve student in our learning activities. Okay. Then never mind if young learners are always asking to the teacher in the classroom because this is one of the characteristic of young learners. So the next characteristics is imaginative. Children love to pretend and create imaginary worlds. They can turn a cardboard box into spaceships or castle in seconds. Yeah, because they have height imagination. So we are, as the teacher of young learners, can utilize this imagination by incorporating storytelling, uh, role play dialogue, or even making creative projects in our learning materials to increase young learners' imagination while learning. Okay, so the next characteristics is easily distracted. Okay, young learners' attention jumps quickly from one thing to another because their minds wander easily, especially when they're bored or something interesting catch their eye. So young learners easily distracted if they are feel bored or there's something more interesting than our learning materials in the class catch their eye. So we, as the teacher of young learners, have to keep activities short and interesting until young learners don't want to see the activities or the things outside classroom. So we also have to remove or avoid unnecessary distraction from the learning space. So the next characteristics is spontaneous. Kids often say and do whatever pops into their mind. They don't always think before they act. Yeah. Then young learners are spontaneous person. So young learners exactly act, exactly says what they have in their mind without thinking. But we, as the teacher of young learners, have to use this spontaneous idea to make learning more relevant or engaging. We don't have to look this spontaneous for us. So we don't have to look this spontaneous as the disruption. So the next characteristics is tactile learners. Children need to touch things to understand them because young learners learn by feeling, building, and manipulating objects. So we as the teacher have to provide blocks, play-doh, puzzle, or even real objects for young learners to touch or to handle. Yeah, because when they learn by touching the objects, they easily remember about the learning materials. So the next characteristics is kinesthetic learner. Young learners learn through movement and doing. As we have discussed before in the first characteristic, young learners are active students. So we as the teacher have to let them jump while counting or maybe act the materials or even dance or sing to remember about the learning materials. Because when their bodies are involved, their brains also engage more fully. So, the next characteristics is short attention spans. Young learners can focus for long periods. The maximum time they can focus on studying is calculated from twice their age. So, the example, if a young learner's age is 8 years old, the focus time of her is twice of their age or 16 minutes. So after 16 minutes, the teacher have to change the learning activities to avoid boring from the students. And also we as the teacher have to aware about the fidgeting or glazed eyes from the students because because it's sign to us to switch the activities. I think this all my explanation. Thanks for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.